Joined by running backs coach Charles London. Coach, year 2 now in the process here at Penn State. What's different about this time this year versus this time last year for you?
Well, for me, it's just the familiarity with the players. You know, I understand, the kids in the room a little bit better and kind of what makes them tick and where their strengths and weaknesses are, and we've been able to kind of move on forward from there.
Let's talk about your position for a little while. 3 running backs in the spring that kind of emerged as looked like guys that can really contribute for the offense. Zach Zwinak returning 1,000-yard rusher, Bill Belton back, and then also Akeel Lynch. Talk about those 3 guys and what's different about all 3 of those guys.
Well, I guess to start with Zach, he's got some experience now. He hadn't played really any competitive football until last year since high school, and he came out and he did some good things. He's got a lot of things to improve on, but I liked what he did this spring, and looking forward to seeing him go out there and compete this fall. Billy, he was our starter going into last season, had a few injuries, and then Zach kind of took off from there. But we expect big things out of Billy this year. He can bring a whole different dimension to the team, and looking forward to him improving on his skill set. And then Akeel's just a freshman. He did some good things this spring, but he's never put on pads in a real football game in college. So look forward to seeing what he can do as well. How
do their styles differ, and then how's that going to help the offense?
I think they each do something a little different. Obviously, Zach's kind of the thumper, the power guy, downhill guy, and Billy has a little bit more wiggle to him, can make guys miss. Good job, can catch the ball out of the backfield. And then Akeel's kind of a mixture of both of them. He's close to 220 pounds, has some power, has some wiggle as well. So they each bring a different aspect to the running back position.
What's the biggest thing you learned about the group during the spring that you liked?
I just really like the way they compete. They went out there and they're all competing for a starting position, but they're friends on and off the field, and they help support each other. And one may see something to help another guy out, and they let each other know. But they know from a day-to-day, it's going to be a competitive position. Just because you start week 1 doesn't mean you're going to start week 4. So you have to go out there and compete every day. And I really appreciated the way they went out there and supported each other and competed.
Talk about the variety of things that a running back's able to do in Coach O'Brien's offense.
Well, we're going to exploit somebody's whole skill set. Obviously you need to be able to run the football, but those guys are kind of a dime a dozen. You got to be able to protect. You got to understand protections and who you have and scan protections. You got to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield and be able to line up in different formations and do different things. So you're not just a traditional tailback. We're going to be back there and we're going to hand it to you 30 times. You're going to get the ball, but you're going to do a lot of other things out of the backfield as well to help exploit your skill set.
What can you tell us about the fullback position?
Pat Zerby, he really stepped up this year, or this past spring, I should say, and then he'll go into the fall as the starter, and then we're looking on him, counting on him to do some big things, not only offensively for us, but on special teams as well. And we don't give the ball to the fullback a lot, but they're an integral part of our offense. He's a lead blocker at times, and he does a lot of things for us out of the backfield. So we look forward to watching Pat and Dom Salomon progress.
When you head into fall camp, what types of things are on your agenda that you want to get accomplished? Obviously, you have a set number of days before the first game of the season, but what are you looking for each day, and then how do you evaluate that progress as you lead into the first game?
Yeah, I just want the guys we talk to them all the time about just win each day. Win that day. Let's go out there the first day of practice. Let's focus on that install that day and, fine-tune our skills and go from there. So I just want them to take it day by day and progress, and then, kind of have a steady evolution up to August 31st.
How do you feel like the offense as a whole evolved during the spring?
Well, it was night and day from last spring. The guys were comfortable. They understand what we're trying to do. They understand the tempo, how we want to practice here at Penn State. So it was like night and day. The guys, they kind of hit the ground running this past spring, whereas obviously last spring it was more learning. Guys had to do a lot more thinking instead of reacting, where they could just go out there and play football this spring. Do
you set any expectations or goals in your room with your guys heading into a season?
We'll talk about that some when camp starts, but I just want them to go out there and compete. It's a lot of history at the Penn State running back position. I want those guys to understand that and understand there's a lot to live up to each year.
Coach, we greatly appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to us.
No problem. Thanks, Tony.